and apologized. "It's okay," I lied and decided to change the subject as soon as possible. I started to ask Ariana about her sister, but she wasn't happy to talk about her. It turned out that Lexa lives in the city we are studying. However, they don't get along with each other, thus I've never seen her. The rest of the evening passed more calmly. I tried not to leave the room and not to cross paths with anyone. A bit later in the night, I wanted to have some water and went down. The lights in the house had already been turned off and all the guests had gone to their rooms, but I heard a noise. Someone was fighting on the terrace. I was curious, so I crept over to the closest window to eavesdrop. Lexa was there with her boyfriend, but very soon I realized that he wasn't her boyfriend at all. The girl begged him to stay and said that she would pay more. Well, he was indignant. He did not expect such an attitude and already regretted that he had agreed to take part. The pattern was obvious. The family was oppressing the sisters so much they wanted to know every detail of their personal lives that Lexa decided to pay a friend to play the role of her boyfriend. I was afraid of being caught eavesdropping and I returned to the room. At night, a wonderful plan was born in my head. The very next day, I suggested Lexa walking in the backyard and then said the following. For the next few months, she would do absolutely everything I say. Either I tell her father that she lied to him. You should have seen the girl's face at that moment. At first, she was terribly confused and then turned even angry. Lexa looked like she was going to say something nasty to me, though after a brief pause, she finally agreed. Of course, I couldn't just wait to get back to college. For the last 2 days, Ariana's father continued to behave in the same unpleasant manner. He constantly asked questions, criticized, and even offered to drop out of college and move to their city to work for him. In general, I was glad to go back and very much hoped that I would not have to carry out such a deed anytime soon. The first thing I did when we had reached the campus was calling Lexa. After all, I managed to make a whole list of things for her to do. I told her that she needed to come and clean my room, go to the laundry, and stop at the cafe on the way and bring me a burger. After a few seconds, she hung up, and to be honest, I thought the idea would not work out. However, in half an hour, I got a delicious burger on the table, and Lexa was walking around picking up socks and putting the books up. I was over the moon that it worked. My life of incredibly pleasant peace started that day. Ariana's sister helped me out with a lot of chores. I tried not to overdo it and called her every other day. She helped me with cleaning and studying, doing things that I had been putting off for a long time, like take my car to the wash or pick some things up from my parents. Although my life was a thing of beauty, to be honest, at first I was slightly tormented by remorse. If Ariana found out what I did to her sister, she would be upset or even angry. Besides, Lexa ran all the errands unquestioningly, but she looked so disgruntled that I was seriously afraid of choking on the burger she'd brought back one day. Weeks passed. I slowly began to think of a plan in case Lexa decided to break her promise. However, she surprised me. With each new week, she was becoming kinder. When she got to my place, she would always ask me how I was doing. Sometimes she would stay longer than I needed and we would talk about things. At some point, I thought Lexa was coming because she wanted to, not because I was forcing her. Lexa was similar to her sister, but I noticed some nice qualities in her personality that I had missed in Ariana. The girl was soft, feminine, very caring. When we went to the store, she asked me to get the goods from the top shelves because she could not do it herself. A couple of times she called me to her house to help her move a heavy closet and a refrigerator. You might be surprised, but I loved to do it for her. Being next to Lexa, I felt strong. She gave me a sense of worth. I felt like a protector. Before I knew it, I was falling in love with my girlfriend's sister. On the other hand, we spent less and less time with Ariana. I still loved her, but now her shortcomings were somehow more acute. It was more pleasant to spend time with Lexa, and although I was ashamed of it, there was nothing I could do about my feelings. There was a day that changed everything. Lexa called me late that night. At first, I was very surprised because she had never called me at night. I felt panic as she spoke. She sounded strange. I could hear static and a strong echo. Lexa told me that she wanted to wash the washing machine and got stuck. With tears, she asked me to come help her urgently. No doubt, I rushed to her house. The spare key, as she had said, was hidden under the vase near the door. Once inside, I went straight to the bathroom. I had to work hard to get Lexa out of the washer. I pulled, but I did it very carefully as she was nervous. Finally, we did it. Lexa looked scared, tired, tearful, but very nice. I suddenly realized how much I wanted to hold her and comfort her. Lexa seemed to feel it too. She started talking to me. She said that I was strong and good, that no one had ever taken such care of her. After that, of course, I couldn't help it and kissed her. To be honest, I've been dreaming about this moment for weeks. I felt incredibly happy and didn't expect it at all, that the next moment, the door would open. Standing in the doorway was my girlfriend, Ariana. I was terrified, and before I could move, Lexa abruptly pushed me away. I expected Lexa would make excuses, but instead she said, "I told you he's a real scoundrel." I stared at them, bewildered. Then Lexa turned to me and told me everything. She knew right away that Ariana was involved with a disgusting person. To prove it, she gained my trust, and before she got stuck in the washer on purpose, she called Ariana to come. All this time, she was in the next room. Several days had passed since. I didn't talk to either Lexa or Ariana, and both girls blacklisted me wherever they could. And I didn't think I'd be so ashamed. I knew I'd done something wrong, but only now I realized how bad it was. I feel like I just have to make it up to the sisters. Tomorrow, I buy flowers and go try to apologize to them.